Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here on this Sunday night. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by our sponsors, Omni True Value Hardware, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, just north of the Southern State Parkway. They have everything you need when it comes to dealing with winter and winter storms. Long Island's largest rock source salt provider, and a provider of everything else, including all the best when it comes to the snowmelt products. Eventually, we'll get some, so you'll need some. Omni True Value Hardware, and the website is omnitruevalue.com. We have a quiet weather week ahead. It is going to be chilly, but I would not describe this as very cold by any means. It won't be overly cold, but we will see this sort of stair step decline in temperatures as we go through the week. So we're looking at highs tomorrow, mostly in the low and middle 40s, a little colder as you go north and west up the Hudson Valley and in northern Connecticut, and maybe up to some middle 40s as you get down into Maryland and into northeastern Virginia. Then Tuesday, we'll shave off a couple of degrees. Highs will be mostly in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Again, a little bit warmer as you go south. Wednesday, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be, I think, noticeably colder. Highs will only be in the low to mid 30s in most places as cold air comes down from Canada. And we're probably going to hold these levels on Thursday, maybe inch up a little bit, but let's say on average, mid to upper 30s. You start to go down to southern New Jersey and down further south into Maryland, Virginia, and you're talking about lower 40s. Will be about the same for Friday, and then probably take it down another notch as we head into Saturday. Just want to show you an interesting satellite view. This is really what a block looks like. And we are looking at, on the left, you can see the northeast coastline, and on the right, you can see Spain. And if you go to the upper right, you can actually see you can see Britain, and also Ireland and Scotland. And the storms that are out in the Atlantic really are not going anywhere. They're just locked in. And because of the positions that these storms are in, we are in a pattern where we're behind the system that impacted us yesterday. So we're getting this northwest flow out of Canada. Since that's going to not really move very much, you can expect that that northwest flow from Canada is going to continue through much of this week. And that's why we're going to see this sort of stair step decline in temperatures, and also the fact that we don't have any major storms on the horizon for this week, and really not even minor ones. We do have some lake effect action going on in upstate New York. You can see it here on the radar this evening. And there's also this upper trough that's to the west that's producing a very large area of light snow that's actually even showing up on radars down into the mountains of western North Carolina and northeastern Georgia and eastern Tennessee. But much of this is going to dry up before it even gets close to us. We are going to see the lake effect machine on the busy side through most of this week. So here's our surface map this evening. Low pressure has moved northward into the Gulf of St. Lawrence. It is just going to sit there for the most part. And then you've got these little weak weather systems, upper troughs with weak cold fronts that'll be swinging on through here from time to time over the next 5 days. Again, there'll be very little with this. I'm expecting for the area from northeast Virginia to southern New England and everybody in between, each day will be sort of a mix of sun and clouds. Some days we'll have more sun than clouds. Some days we'll have more clouds than sun. And of course, the amount of sun or lack of sun will definitely impact on the temperatures. And it is very dry. When you look at the WPC, the Weather Prediction Center's liquid melted liquid precip forecasts for the Northeast, most of the Northeast and even down in the mid-Atlantic states, talking about a tenth of an inch or less, and some places may not see anything for much of this week, but you can see the higher amounts in western New York and down into the Appalachians because of that lake effect and the upper trough. And we also have, because there's going to be a system moving through the southern stream, rain that is being indicated here for East Texas into West Georgia on the order of, say, 3/4 of an inch to as much as a couple of inches in some places. So we'll just back it up here. This was the late afternoon run of the GFS, and I'll show you what's going to be happening here for this week as things move along. And of course, there's our storm on the upper right tomorrow morning. Moves up, excuse me, moves up northward, but there's more energy coming around it, so it keeps us in this northwest flow for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's also going to be breezy at times too, because the gradient isn't exactly weak here. Then as we head into Thursday, we do have a low that's going through the northern lakes that's going to pretty much wind up in the same position as our storm that we have in eastern Canada right now. It's just going to go right into the same spot. So the outside chance that there could be maybe a snow shower here Wednesday night into Thursday morning, a little bit of a frontal system goes by, and then we have another high coming down with colder air for Friday and for the weekend. And you'll notice that the moisture that's shown here on this run of the GFS in the southern part of the US in the Gulf states just continues to get suppressed southward. So if that's the case, next weekend will be cold and dry. Now, going into next week, because of that blocking pattern, there will be a system coming out from the west. Now, this model, the GFS model, is the only model that wants to take a low this far west. The other models, the Canadian, the European, all have a much weaker system that moves pretty much straight east and eventually gets suppressed even more southeast. And this all has to do, again, with that blocking pattern that we have. So whatever happens in the long range is really going to hinge on the strength and dominance of the blocking pattern that's out in the Atlantic. It's conceivable that the block could weaken enough to allow for a more potent weather system to approach early next week. On the other hand, if the block still remains a powerhouse and doesn't relax a little bit, then this system here on the GFS could be vastly overdone, and we could see another weather system pass by well to our south with no real consequence, and we'll just stay chilly and dry here in the Northeast. So that's going to be our focus of attention as we go through this coming week. Weather in 5 brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon. 631-756-1125 with the best prices in town. And they are a local business, so you would be supporting a local business. They service the entire tri-state area, and their website is omnitruevalue.com. We had our Sunday morning Joe and Joe weather show, so you can watch it on YouTube on a replay as we talk about the week ahead and the long range and the upper air patterns and everything else. And also tonight for Patreon members, just a reminder, at 8 o'clock Eastern time, we have our weather Zoom for members only. So we'll be looking at the weather and having a conversation, taking questions, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're a Patreon member, jump onto the weather Zoom. The link has been posted on the patreon.com/meteorologist Joe Cioffi website. And if you want to be part of that and everything else that I do on that platform, it's a subscription platform for just $2 a month. You get ad-free posts, and you can contact me anytime, comment, message me, whatever, and I certainly will get back to you. So again, that's patreon.com/meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Have a good Sunday night and a solid start to the week ahead.